Standing here now, back on our stone house build in Northern Portugal, it is hard to believe what this looked like just a year ago. Because back then this wasn't a home, it was a building site, and a pretty overwhelming one at that.
We're not really sure what's going to happen next. You know, what's the next step in the build? Is it going to be the roof? Is it going to be the brick? Oh, it's all just a little bit nuts, isn't it?
We had taken on something big. A stone house build from the ground up here in the hills of Northern Portugal. And not just any house. We wanted something as big and as beautiful as we could possibly imagine.
I just had this idea that maybe we could build something that looked Italian farmhouse, but with a Portuguese twist.
But like anyone building their own home, I'm not sure we fully understood just how much we were taking on.
Still pinching myself that this is even my life, let alone that we're at this point of it, you know?
We're John and Tara, and together with our boys, Crusoe and Sawyer, we've been building a life here in Portugal for the last 4 years. What started as an abandoned farm has turned into something so much more than we ever planned. If you've been with us a while, you'll no doubt be very excited to see what the farm and the build look like after our 3 months away.
And make sure you stick around to the end because we are going to show you exactly what's happened to this property and this incredible build while we've been away.
And if you're new, then a very warm welcome. We wrapped 2025 with the completion of the exterior of this house.
Feels really weird to think that that's kind of wrapping up, you know, for the winter.
And you join us at the start of a new exciting chapter as we begin to turn this house into a home. Please make sure that you're subscribed so that you don't miss out on everything that's to come. This time last year, we were already well out of the ground. And as spring started to blossom across the farm, our team of stonemasons and builders were talking to us about the stone that we would be using to build this beautiful home. And it wasn't as straightforward as we'd hoped it would be.
I'm still very unsure about that stone. It feels like it's the wrong colour. It feels very square, it feels very organised, it feels very grey. So Eduardo is coming here a little bit later on to talk to us a little bit about the stone and get our feeling for it. But we had in our mind this picture of these old stones that are very yellow and rounded and, you know, very beautiful looking. This looks very angular. They look very, how do I say? They're just completely not what we're looking for.
Getting the colour of the stone right was fundamental to the overall look and feel of the house. And our original idea and hope was to build the entire house out of reclaimed stone that had once been used as part of other people's now demolished homes.
You wonder the stories these stones could tell, can't you? Like, where did they come from? What were they before? Who walked beneath that entranceway?
I'm feeling already a genuine attachment to this stone. There is something extremely special about what I'm standing on right now.
Sadly, this didn't work out well, and the stone was too brittle and hard to work. We did, though, manage to build one wall in the house out of it and a rather impressive table. It looks fantastic. Our second stone delivery turned out to be the wrong colour. A grey, dull colour that offers a very hard stone but also a colder looking, less welcoming feel. Saying to our contractor that we were unhappy with the stone colour was a really hard thing to do. Thankfully, they were on board with our vision, and a few days later we had a different stone from a different quarry on site.
Whoa!
The walls began to enclose the concrete framework and the house started to take shape. And whilst all of this was going on, other exciting projects around the farm were also taking place. The biggest of them, a project that we're hoping solves all of our summer water issues and also provides our family with a fun place to cool down, the biopool.
And to tell that story, I think we need to remember what the space where the biopool now sits looked like when we first got here. Our land in Portugal is made up of about 8 different terraces of varying sizes, shapes and aspects. This is our lowest terrace, and when we got here in 2021 it was completely overgrown.
Behind me there is our final field. There's a spring that runs through it and some water, so it's quite soggy and boggy.
So we knew we had water down here, but what to do with it? Well, we decided to pursue a dream.
We are going to be building a wild pool here
to have our very own natural swimming pool. In the spring of 2023, work began, with our friend Mario and his digger creating a hole big enough for our vision. On a project like this, priorities often shift, and we actually took almost an entire year to get back down to that pool to continue building.
This is probably one of our longest projects that we're doing on the farm.
But once we did get back down there, it was all systems go. We hired a local builder to help us create the concrete structure for the pool, and once that was complete, it was time for us to lay the liner and finally get water into it. That was a huge moment for the project, and it allowed us to start bedding the pool into the terrace. Using stone that had been excavated from beneath the house, we fixed the crumbling terraces around the pool.
Let's hope it's enough to finish this job.
And landscaped the entire area. The biopool project has been one filled with mistakes and hard lessons.
This corner was always going to be a problem. It's not good. Can't hold it, it keeps floating out of place. No, they've got to come up. We got to stop.
And despite a few glimmers of hope when we completed the build last year, those mistakes still linger with us, and there is a heck of a lot of work still to do before we can call this project a success. But we'll talk a bit more about that later. While moving stone from the building site to the biopool was happening, our team of stonemasons were getting stuck into the design of the house.
For me, this was the most difficult part of the build. As a person who's tried almost always to be the guy who's doing the graft, working with my hands and building the projects, standing on the sideline, benched if you like, watching wasn't much fun. I spent many weeks working on other projects, trying my hand with skills I'd learned from watching the professionals. I built a staircase, a carbon copy of what I'd seen being built a few weeks earlier.
As you can see, there's voids underneath each piece of wood that's forming a stair.
I started to confidently work with some stone.
Oh, that's it, the motor's off, and that was a really important experience for me. I really wanted to be involved in cutting and feeling what it was like to basically just slice in half something that's 1,000,000 years old, and it felt really, really good.
And there were a few small projects on the house build that the fellas welcomed me into. Truthfully, I feel I missed out a bit here. And if there ever was a do-over, I would be more involved. Keeping that in mind though, whilst our home was being created, I busied myself with a myriad of projects. All felt worthwhile. All filled my days. I'm excited to be 100% hands-on with the next stage of the build, and really looking forward to getting stuck into those interiors.
And whilst John might have been feeling a little left out, I can say he was more often than not seen getting stuck in, helping Marcus, our stonemason, shape and create our home using the beautiful yellow granite that we had sourced from our wider local area. I've got a surprise for you.
Hey, dude, that's so cool. Look at
Give
that.
you a run for your money, Marcus. They're actually perfect.
And the star of that show? Arches. Stone arches, hand-carved, that form the central design feature of this house. From small beginnings, this element got even grander as the build went on, and having a chance to see the skill that we had building our house really shine was a privilege that we'll cherish forever.
I just think this house is going to hold for a very long time some incredibly special energy. And for that, I'm so, so grateful.
In fact, we loved it so much that we made a significant change to the plans.
So what does that mean? I think we've got to call Eduardo.
We're going to put a big arch here. How epic is that going to be?
And decided to incorporate another arch, this time an arched window at the front of our kitchen. What remains to be seen now that we're back in Portugal is whether or not this was the right call. Will the arched window fit? Will it look the way we hoped? And will the change drive us wildly off schedule? Everything, apart from the house build, that we've built in the 4 years of living in Portugal has been created from our heads. Nothing has been done with any sort of written down plan or chronological timeline, and we must have done 100 projects around our farm since we arrived. The water tank turned into a couch swimming pool, turned into a fish tank.
We got to empty some of this water so we can find the fish, right?
Turned into a knot tank, our new shed. We started building a tiny house, put a bed in it, but without a bathroom, and later came back to put that bathroom in because it was needed. We renovated an entire one-bedroom house thinking it would be home for a while, and then we knocked it down. It's been a lot of this, then that, here, then there, learning from the mistakes, making it up as we go. In fact, the only thing we've built that stayed the same was the lawn, albeit joined by a first attempt at an outdoor kitchen and a second, much more successful one, which we're excited to finish this summer. All this change, all this creating, all this building and shifting and moving is great, but it hasn't been without its problems. Access around our farm is now a real challenge as the houses block the entry for works traffic. The size of the house we're building has caused endless issues with stone sourcing, and the only crane that could get to our build site simply wasn't big enough for the build itself, so it needed to be moved. Holy moly, that's
very
tight.
close. That's a wing mirror going.
And the biopool could have admittedly really used a written down plan. We've always been okay with making it up as we go along, to take really big risks and to be okay with changing direction when it feels like the direction needs to change.
I'm so tired of building stuff, making stuff. I'd like to be creative in some other way, in a different kind of way. And so I'm out here on the garden. Are you okay, Crusoe? Anybody ever tried making a YouTube video with a toddler? Brilliant fun. In a minute, Crusoe, I promise.
And as we enter this new year of building in Portugal, it feels like a pretty pivotal moment for our family and for our future.
It's so good to be back here in Portugal, and as you guys know, one of the first things that I ever did when we got here was to make a lawn. A lawn that is now pretty well established. It's in its 4th year of growing, and it hasn't had any love for the entire time that we've been away in Zimbabwe. And that, my friends, is where my personal favourite sponsor comes in, Mammotion. Thank you very much, Mammotion, for shooting me out a Mammotion Luba 3 robot lawnmower. It's basically the coolest thing in the Knot garage. I've just set it up and it took me around about 15 minutes to shoot it around the edges of my lawn. It works by a satellite and just goes backwards and forwards without the need of any wires. It is Mammotion's flagship offering, certainly in my opinion defining the new era of lawn mastery. The Luba 3 is an all-wheel drive robot that can go up 80-degree inclines. We tested that in Zimbabwe. It's the master of all kinds of lawns, and if you're looking for those straight lines backwards and forwards, that's what we've got here. It's got a massive 3.2-inch clearance, which means that it's able to overcome all sorts of obstacles like little conkers or little stones in your lawn. One thing I've really noticed about this newest model is how fast it cuts and how well it plans in real time the best and safest path to mow. Recognizes phenomenally over 300 different obstacle types. Remarkably, it automatically changes its disc speed and its power depending on how thick your grass is. This gets the maximum efficiency and cutting power. It can cover up to 7,000 square meters every single day. And the battery is better than ever, delivering up to 215 minutes of runtime. If you've been watching my lawn here in Portugal or in Zimbabwe and you've had your eye on one of these beasts for a little while, now is the perfect time to go ahead and get one for yourself. Not only is it the beginning of the season, you're going to get maximum use from it, but it's also the best product that Mammotion have ever released. The Mammotion Luba 3 all-wheel drive is rockstar stuff. I blooming well love it. Link in the description below. Let's get on with the rest of the show.
Ending 2025's build season on a high was so important to us, and the final push in those last few months of the year was intense. The team was working so hard to get the internal walls up and in place, showing us for the first time what the layout of the house would look and feel like inside. And it wasn't just the inside look and feel we were getting to grips with. We had decided to frame all of our doors and windows with smooth cut granite blocks, and these were slowly going into place. This particular job was by no means easy. These blocks are super heavy and despite their size, very fragile. They were also pretty challenging for the manufacturer to create in the factory, so the larger ones for the kitchen and living room windows caused us a few delays.
So John's just been talking to Joachim about those stones. Obviously what we don't want is for the edges that are tipped to be able to be visible. So they need to be turned and put in place very carefully. And they also need to be manoeuvred really carefully to make sure that they don't get more chips as they're being moved into place. It's a very intense day today, isn't it?
It is going to be very intense. Yeah, I see Marcus is taking one of those, the top of one of the windows into place, or the bottom, I'm not sure. What do they say about best laid plans and breaking eggs to make omelettes? Let's just leave it at that, shall we? And remind ourselves that for a build this size and complexity, we've done very, very well. Okay, so the piece that's coming down at the moment, I think is going to be going in that window there. And we're going to be looking at later today getting the top part of that window. So we're really going to start framing up the downstairs.
A big part of that framing was, of course, our bay window. A feature not common in this part of Portugal and something that we wanted as a bit of a reading snug in our living room. Even though a minor emergency pulled us away from the placement of these particular stones, we watched with so much excitement as this part of the house came to life.
And I've just been stung by what my boys call chemical wasps. They're making a nest in the...
I'm watching this now and laughing at myself a little bit. You can see me fidgeting with my t-shirt, and I'm about 2 minutes away from what happened next. Quite sore and, well, frustrating too.
But they're not Asian hornets, so it's different. But that's sore when they sting.
How's your birthday?
It's really bad. And I got nibbled a lot by a lot of them. And now my body is going into some sort of a crazy
mega
shock.
reaction.
My face is swelling up. And I'm so itchy everywhere.
So
I don't know, I just want to scratch my skin
oh my
off.
gosh, look at that, guys. Isn't that terrifying?
Thankfully, no harm was done, and after a very quick stint at the hospital, we were home to carry on with the business of building this house. With the voids framed, we could now begin conversations with window and door manufacturers, which, I'll be honest, has been one of the more eye-watering parts of this process so far. It's our biggest single spend beyond the building, and we have pushed the go button on their manufacture. We're hopefully getting a first look at them in the next month or so do keep an eye out for that. We also decided to make a few changes to the usage of the various rooms.
Okay, so here we go. We got, Eduardo's just said, we've got 3 choices.
Turning what was destined to be a downstairs utility and scullery space into an accessible bedroom and bathroom for visitors who may have limited mobility. Our plans for this house also shifted slightly, as our lives took us in a slightly unexpected direction, and we are now so excited to be building this house not just as our home in Portugal, but also as a space that can bring people together in Northern Portugal.
Oh, yes! How awesome is this? You want to have a great tune? It feels funny on your feet, like this. Stomp, stomp, stomp.
A base where we can share the magic of this remarkable country and its incredible people with you.
Good morning, everybody. We've left the farm. Our favourite day out that we can do easily from the farm, which is take the train from our nearby town to Pinhão, which is where we are now. We're in the Douro Valley, which is famous for making port. It's the world's oldest designated winemaking area and a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's absolutely beautiful.
If that's something that you'd be interested in, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We'll be talking so much more about this in the coming months. As the year drew to a close, we reached the pinnacle of any build, putting on the roof.
Okay, I am up on the roof at the moment. I was just about to set up a time lapse, and then I heard the lorry coming around the corner. Here we go, folks. Today is the day.
This had been a monumental amount of preparation for the team, not least because some of the facades of the house that were built out of stone were 3 floors high. There were concrete slabs to pour, stone walls to lay, cornicing to go into place, and the roof structure itself to be created. After what felt like weeks of preparation and months of waiting, it was finally time to begin tiling the roof. We'd opted for traditional terracotta tiles, in keeping with the look and feel of our local area here in Northern Portugal, and the speed and skill with which the guys laid them was seriously impressive.
You're not feeling chatty?
I am, but I'm looking at how diligently. Daniel's putting every single tile into place. It's not just lobbing it on and then moving on to the next one. There's a little bit of fluffing around, you know, like shifting it around, making sure it's secure and in place.
It was a day we will never forget, shrouded in the mists that so often coat our mountains, and watching those clouds clear to reveal the roof was epic. As we mentioned earlier, this build isn't just all about a house. Here on this magical piece of land in Northern Portugal, we've chosen to go as big and as grand as we possibly can, stretching both our imagination and of course our budget as far as they can go. Our ambition has been to make the spaces around our beautiful stone house as impressive as the house itself. Starting really early with the lawn, planting trees as soon as we arrived here 4 years ago has meant that we now have an already pretty established garden. We've also created 2 incredible staircases, one that we still need to complete up to the front of the house and another towards the back of the farm, a staircase that leads to our biopool. We mentioned earlier that the biopool currently has problems that need to be fixed. Well, it's just not looking as fresh, shall we say, as it did last summer. The biopool, along with the house build and some serious landscaping projects, will be the main focus of the next stages of this build, ones that we're really looking forward to the challenges of, and mostly to the completion of. Right, so with that all cleared up, who wants to have a look inside? So welcome back, you guys. Here we are. We're back in Portugal and this building is looking incredible. Getting to this point of this build has been the most incredible journey, and I'm sure you guys are as excited as we were when we got here to see what the house looks like right now. So thank you for sticking with us while we told that little story, and let's show you around. Catch you guys up. The boys have gone off to build a fairy garden because the gardens are looking incredible. We've had so much burst to life, but today's the first day that the guys are back on site and it is all systems go. We've had a meeting with the contractors. We've got a bit of an idea of what's going to happen next, which I'll talk you through as we wander through the house. But let's show you what happened, because when we left at the end of last year, we had got the main section of the roof onto the house and we were waiting for the inside paneling to arrive. And there were so many delays. I think eventually they had to come from Spain. And anyway, they only arrived after we had already left for Zimbabwe. So we hadn't seen this when we got here, and you guys haven't seen it either. We now have a roof on our veranda over these beautiful arches, and it looks amazing. And the reason that these panels were so tricky to come by is that they're not just the wooden panels. They're kind of a pad of insulation as well as the paneling underneath, and it all just slots together a little bit like a jigsaw. We are so pleased with how this turned out. So if we leave the veranda, what will be the kitchen? So of course we've got our beautiful arched kitchen window, and the guys, while we've been away, have done almost like a sill for the window on the interior here, just with a bit of concrete to give a smooth edge for the window to fit into. We are getting aluminium windows fitted into this house. They have been manufactured. I think they are 90% finished, but this arched window will have to be built on site. They can't do it in the factory. They're going to bring a whole bunch of kit here and the aluminium, and we'll be able to watch them literally bending it and fitting it perfectly into place and then putting the glass in. It's going to be incredible. I cannot wait. So do make sure that you have hit that subscribe button if you're new, or if you haven't checked for a while. If you are subscribed, please do double check. It'll just make it easier for you guys to find our videos when we release, because there is so much to look forward to. I can't wait. Actually, this window should be happening, I think, in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, so once that window's done, obviously we're going to be installing all of the other windows and doors in the house and shifting our focus to the exterior of the house, which I'll show you in a second. But one of the things that we're so excited to get started on, and actually he should be here I think tomorrow, is a big project with Marcus, which is going to completely change this part of the house, which is our living room and dining room, and that is to put in our stone fireplace. It's going to be very similar in look and feel to the stone that frames that kitchen window, the arch at the front, but it's going to be here in this corner. So here we've got our bay window, if you remember, and the fireplace is going here, and we're going to do a big stone fireplace, probably with a nice wooden mantle, hopefully with a big piece of granite at the bottom, a nice big stone hearth, and the stone is going to wrap all the way round from the fireplace, right the way round, to encase this wall as well, so that when you come in through the front door, I get so confused. Front door, back door?
Back door.
Coming through the back door, you are met with stone.
We should call it the courtyard door.
The courtyard door.
Because that leads out to our courtyard.
That sounds well fancy. So the courtyard door, if you come in through the courtyard door, you'll be met with stone. And we were talking to the guys about putting in some like sunken shelves, maybe some voids with lighting and things within the stonework. It's so cool to start thinking about all of those finishing touches and those kind of design features that will really make this house feel as special as we want it to feel. We've been watching our friends, Britt and Drew, over on Mr. and Mrs. Adventure, and they are getting to that point with their watermill where they're starting to put in those quirky finishing touches and features, and I'm so excited for them and also a little bit envious. I cannot wait until we get there with our project. Not long-ish. Quite long, but not long. Anyway, come and have a quick look at what the guys are doing outside, and I'll explain what's going to happen outside, but that we'll have more about on Sunday's episode. So, just a quick look. The guys are here, just Roby and Adele. Hey, Roby. And they are putting up a huge scaffold basically around the entire building. And the reason they're doing that is because they're going to start pointing the stones, sandblasting the stones, finishing the stones, and rendering the exterior of the entire house.
Very big job.
Very big job. And will also be a huge change to how the whole place looks. So down the bottom here, come on then, don't think much has changed since we were last here, but basically all of the internal walls are in. This is our limited mobility room, if you will, our accessible room. So for people with limited mobility, this is where they'll be able to stay. We'll put a nice ramp down onto the courtyard out that front door. This will be a big sliding glass door. This is the bedroom and a bathroom with heaps of space. So if somebody is in a wheelchair, they'll be able to get in and out nice and easily and have access, of course, to the whole of the house. This really is such a lovely, bright room. Even with that opaque plastic window, you really get a sense of how much light is going to be coming in there. And of course, it leads directly out onto the courtyard. But anyway, come and have a look upstairs, because that is where a lot of change has happened while we were away. If you know anything about Portugal, you'll know that this winter, Portugal got absolutely battered by some of the worst winter storms on record. Hello, mister. Okay, show me. Thankfully, up here in Northern Portugal, we didn't get any of the kind of big cyclone activity like they did in the central part of the country, so we didn't suffer any damage. But it did mean that there was a heck of a lot of rain, and all of the stuff that we had scheduled for while we were away couldn't happen. So as you get to the top of the stairs and you turn right, this is the first upstairs bedroom, and it's beautiful. This is the only one that we've done up here that has that roof. And it's really cool. This is exactly the same material that we've used down on the veranda roof. So it's that insulated, ready-made paneling with the wooden paneling inside. And it all just slots into those beams. Obviously, it's all going to be finished, stained, treated. But it's such a lovely room. I really love this room in particular because it's got windows on both sides. So you've got views out over the courtyard from there and out over the driveway from there. And of course, like all the bedrooms in this house, it has an ensuite bathroom. We are on the upstairs landing. When we left at the end of last year, we could still see over these walls. Can't anymore. All of the internal walls upstairs are built. They're not quite finished, but they are built. So all of the brickwork is done, which is mega. So everything goes all the way up to the roof now. We get a sense of how big they are. This is the middle bedroom. We've got 3 bedrooms across the front of the house. This is the middle bedroom, and it's got a dressing room and a bathroom. And the master bedroom is right behind you guys. So spin around with me and come and have a look. This is our bedroom, and it's going to be magical. So this is obviously the bedroom bit. We've got this beautiful big sliding door that goes out onto that lovely balcony that kind of sticks into the oak tree. Cannot wait to get the doors and windows in. And the bed will be across here, and then we've got our bathroom, and again, the dressing room area. So much space. There is just so much space, and it's so cool to see how the space looks and feels now that the walls are up. What I love is that all the rooms are so different. We've got really different aspects for all of them. So we've got this one, the master bedroom with the big double doors. We've got the one in the middle with the big dressing room. The one on the end doesn't have a dressing room, but it will have built-in wardrobes and its own bathroom, and it's got beautiful views out over the veranda and the mountains to the side of the farm and directly across the front of the property, which is where the magnificent views are. So you'll be looking down onto the lawn. We've also got this little balcony on the side here, and we were talking to the guys yesterday about the stonework that's going to go onto those balconies just to make them fit a little bit more cohesively with the rest of the building, and we also need to figure out how we're going to secure them. This balcony is big enough to have a table and chairs on it, so that's going to be a lovely kind of morning coffee nook, you know, a nice place to sit with the birds and have your morning coffee. We're trying to figure out and find ironmongery techniques and somebody who can supply us with beautiful iron balcony banisters. We are struggling though, so if anybody knows of anyone, please can you let us know in the comments below. We would be so grateful. We have signed off and paid for the underfloor heating and ventilation system that's going to keep this house fresh, clean, and most importantly mold free, which is not something that you do find in older houses here in Portugal. So we're really looking forward to doing that element of the build really properly. So once the windows and doors are in, we'll be able to start thinking about that flooring system and that plumbing system. The guys will start thinking about chasing in the main electrics, putting in some of the plumbing infrastructure that you need. And then once those floors are down, we can start plastering, putting in the ceilings, making sure that everything is ready for all of that really fun final finishing, like the bathrooms, the kitchen, the tiling. What kind of floors are we going to go with? Are we going to do blinds or curtains? Are we going to put shelves? Where are things going to be? Are we going to build the kitchen ourselves? I think that's a question we get a lot. Is John going to build the kitchen? Don't know. We don't know the answers to these questions just yet, but we are loving starting to think about it. So like I said before, please make sure you are subscribed. We would so appreciate having you along for the journey. And quickly, before we wrap up for today, I thought I'd just answer a couple of questions which are coming up. The first question is, how long are we going to be in Portugal this time? So we're not 100% sure just yet. We haven't booked our flights to return to Zimbabwe, but we do have projects waiting for us there. And of course, we want to get the boys into a few more months of nursery school. So we'll see how it goes, but we are going to be here definitely for the next couple of months at the very least, which we're pretty stoked about because it is such a beautiful time of year. The other question we've had is, of course, about Obi. Where is Obi? Is he coming back to Portugal? Obi is back in Zim. He's staying with my mum and dad at the moment. He is absolutely best mates with my dad's dog, Archie, who's also a border collie. He's having a ball. Don't worry about Obi. But I must say, we are missing him terribly. It's a little bit strange to be in Portugal without him. And yeah, we're looking forward to being reunited with him when we do head back to Zim. But rest assured, Obi is having a lovely time. So anyway, while we're here, guys, so much to look forward to. We are so excited. And we are entering the most exciting part of this build as we turn this house into a home and get really excited about all the things that are going to make it so magical. So thank you again, all of you, for all of your support, for spending your time with us. It means the world to our family. We will see you guys on Sunday for a full day on the build, catching up with what the guys are up to and getting ready for this next chapter. Remember, we release 2 episodes every week on a Wednesday and a Sunday. We'll see you guys then.